Morning, everyone. Well, it's morning for me. I'm just here having my coffee this morning and I wanted to do some reading. So here we go. Chapter 16 of our book, The House with Chickenlegs by Sophie Anderson. This chapter is called Topsy Turvy. I hear Benji's desperate bleats for food before I even see the house. Guilt stabs into my chest and I stumble onto the porch, trying to ignore the scowl of the windows and the splintering mess near the skeleton store. While I was wandering around the market pretending to be normal, a living girl, Benji was hungry, the house was falling apart, and no one was preparing for guiding. The great cycle was probably spinning out of control and the dead souls were probably fading away, all because of me. The guilty feeling burns into anger and frustration at not being able to have a few hours to myself without everything going wrong. Benji barges into my shins as soon as I open the front door, and Jack hurtles towards me, screeching and cawing as if I've been gone for 100 years. It's all right, I lift my arms to protect myself, but Jack collides into them and scrambles against my sleeves and shoulders. His claws catch on my new dress and pull at the fine, delicate threads. He tries to shove some food in my ear with his beak, but it gets tangled in my new headscarf, and I see something red and squishy drip out into the green fabric. Get off! I shove him away as hard as I can. He flaps madly, twists in the air, and lands heavily on the floor with a thud. I look down at my headscarf and the dress. They're both stained with some kind of red sauce. And there's a tear on the tear on the shoulder of my dress. Stupid bird, I yell. You stupid, clumsy, stupid bird. I regret the words as they come flying out of my mouth, but it's too late. I can't catch them. Jack tilts his head. His silver eyes stare at me in shock. Then he squawks angrily and struts out of the back door, limping. I'm sorry, Jack. I call after him, but he flaps away without a backward glance. I pick up Benji and whisper apologies into his ear as I build a fire and hook the kettle over it. He sucks my fingers, crying softly, until the water is warmed. Then I give him a bottle and stroke his soft fur as the milk gurgles down into his belly. Once he's full, he falls asleep, and I move him onto my floor cushion. I change into one of my old dresses and leave the new one to soak in a bucket of water. The house is quiet. Too quiet. I go outside and call for Jack, but he doesn't come, not even when I make Kasha and I sit on the porch with a half bowlful just for him, whistling one of his special calls. The amber glow of sunset fades into a dark blue dusk, and I'm about to leave to go on the Old Yaga's house when the bones tumble from the skeleton store. You want me to build the fence? I glance up at the porch roof. It nods, and I groan. I know the house won't open the gate in case I go through it, so it only wants me to build the fence to keep the living away. It's angry about me going off with Salma today and wants me to stop making friends. I'll do it when I get back, I snap. The house creaks as it rises and straightens its legs. No, I yell. Please, I've got to see the Old Yaga again tonight. She's helping me. She's explaining things about Baba and guiding, and my heart races. The house can't move on now, not when I'm so close to bringing Baba home. I'll build the fence when I get back, I promise. The windows looked at me suspiciously as the house lowers itself back down. The crack near the skeleton store splits farther apart, and I gasp as I feel a crack in my own heart. Shards of wood fall onto the dusty ground, and an icy wind seems to blow through my empty veins. I blink and breathe until the feeling passes. Then I pull my shawl tight around my chest and look away from the mess. I won't be long. My hand lingers on the balustrade as I step off the porch. Take care of Benji and keep a lookout for Jack. I swallow back the lump in my throat and remind myself that tonight I'm going to find Baba, and then together we will fix everything. I run to the Old Yaga's house, push past the curtains, and look at the skulls decorating her stall. They aren't lit for a guiding, but it's nearly dark, so I'm sure they will be soon. Marinka, the Old Yaga beckons me inside as her house's doors open. How are you feeling tonight? Good. Ready to guide the dead. "How's your house?" she asks. "Fine." I look at the table, surprised there's only bread and a salad laid out. It's not much of a feast for guiding. "And Jack." "You remember Jack?" "Of course. When you first brought him here, he was just a chick, tucked up in your shawl. You cared for him like the house for its Yaga. He's more independent these days. But you still look after each other, don't you?" The old Yaga offers me a chair and a slice of bread. I nod. A fresh surge of regret for pushing Jack away was twisting me inside. Curvids are such clever, sociable birds. When I was your age, I used to watch the ravens and the wolves on the Russian steppes. The ravens led the wolves to prey, and the wolves let them share their food. I scoop some salad onto my plate and glance at the door, wondering when the old Yaga will light the skulls and call the dead. They played together, too. The ravens pulled the wolves' tails, and the wolves chased them. It took me a while to figure out. It was all in good fun. The old Yaga chuckles. "Do you still play with your house?" "Pardon?" My gaze swings back to her as I realize she asked me a question. "Play with your house, hide and seek, tag, hopscotch." The names of the games bring almost forgotten memories to the front of my mind. The house and I used to play hide and seek in the forest. That was how I learned the house could climb trees and creep silently through the fallen leaves. We used to play tag, too. I remember running as fast as I could through the midnight meadows, the house's feet pounding after me. My heart would thump so hard my whole body shook, and I would scream with excitement until my throat was sore. When I was too exhausted to run anymore, the house would scoop me up with one of its big chicken feet and throw me onto its roof for a piggyback. Holding onto the chimney pot, I would bounce up and down until I felt like my lungs might burst from laughing so much. I haven't played with the house in years. I push the memory away and sit up straight. I'm nearly 13 now. But instead of feeling more grown up, the words make me feel like a lost little child. That's a shame. The old Yaga waves her pipe around the room. My house and I are both as old as the hills, but we still play together all the time. Maybe not tag, she chuckles. That would be a snail chasing a tortoise. But we play tic-tac-toe and, hold tight, topsy-turvy. Before I have a chance to grab hold of anything, the whole house falls sideways. Furniture slides across the floor, carrying us with it. My eyes widen in panic, and I see the old Yaga calmly filling her pipe as shelves topple over behind her with an almighty crash. "What's going on?" I yell, frantically trying to grip the mantelpiece as my chair collides with the wall. Everything that was on the floor is now heaped against the wall, and the house is still turning. My stomach lurches as we reach another tipping point and careen across the long wall towards the ceiling. "Topsy-turvy!" she squeals again, shaking with laughter as she rocks her chair to right herself. I try to do the same, but my face is pressed tight against the wall, and my legs are trapped under the table. "You have to stay upright as the house rolls over," the Yaga shouts. I smash into the ceiling and end up upside down beneath a jumble of chair legs. Technically, I suppose, it's the house that's upside down, so I wonder if I am, in fact, still the right way up. "You've lost." The old Yaga beams from her chair, which is miraculously the right way up, on the ceiling. "That's a ridiculous game. Look at this mess." I crawl out from the devastation, hot and flustered, heart pounding. The old Yaga laughs, which just makes me angrier. I frown and sit on a roof joist, trying to catch my breath. The old Yaga lights her pipe and walks to the open window. "Come and see." Leaning out, she points up at the sky. The house's legs are sticking straight up, its toes wiggling in the starlight. My house can't walk far or fast these days, the old Yaga sighs. I think soon it will seize up altogether, but it still loves to dance in the Milky Way. The hairs on the back of my neck lift, and a shiver runs down my spine. What will happen to your house when it can't move anymore? "Everything is part of the great cycle," the old Yaga shrugs. "We all return to the stars eventually." I think of Baba and remember why I'm here. Shall we get ready to guide the dead now? The old Yaga looks at me out of the corner of her eyes. My house is old, ancient, and it has guided enough dead in its lifetime to be fulfilled. A younger house took its place as a guiding house many years ago. What do you mean? My house is retired. We don't guide the dead anymore. But you said you'd help me with a guiding, I gasped, as all my hopes for tonight came crashing down around me. I said I'd help you prepare for your guidings. I can help you cook borscht or brew kvass or learn the death journey words. I know all that, I snapped. I just need to know how to open and close the gate by myself. The Old Yaga sucks on her pipe and nods thoughtfully. If you bond with your house, you'll have more control over your gate. How do I do that? Time, patience. The Old Yaga leads me back across the ceiling and down the walls of her house, rolls slowly and calmly this time to settle back on its feet. Frustration boils under my skin. I don't have time or patience. I need to get back to Bubba now. The house is crumbling and dead souls are fading away all because of me. Isn't there another way? I asked, something to help us bond quickly. Well, there is the ceremony of bonding. The Old Yaga's eyes shine. I remember our ceremony when I bonded with the house. It's such a wonderful moment in a Yaga's life. And the party. Party? Ceremony? Bubba never told me about any ceremony. I frown. I don't want to feel angry with Bubba again, but she should have told me about this. Maybe she was keeping it a surprise, the Old Yaga shrugs. It's not like you need to know until it's your time. I have some pictures of the last ceremony I went to. She looks around the room, at her papers scattered across the floor among upturned furniture, and laughs. I'll have to tidy up a bit to find them. How about I tell you about it tomorrow night? I could help you clear up now, I offer, eager to find out about the ceremony. Oh, don't worry about that. The Old Yaga dismisses the mess with a wave. You should check on your house and get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow. The door swings open and I am bundled outside before I can say anything else. The skulls on the stall seem to be silently laughing at me, their mouths twisted into mocking grins. I storm past them and step into the darkness of the market. My skin feels too tight, and I can't shake the feeling I've been tricked or cheated. I wanted to bring Bubba home tonight. What if she's drifting farther and farther away? What if it's too late already? What if she's gone? I push the thought away and look up at the sky. It's a deep blue-black, the arc of the Milky Way, a brilliant, glittery swoosh of cloud extending across it, from the far east to the far west. Taking a deep breath, I stand tall. It doesn't matter how far away Baba is. I will find a way to bring her home. I have to. Not only to save me and the house, but to save all the dead. They're in danger of fading away because we can't get to the stars, and to save all the Yaga houses that are suffering with strain because of me. Everything, the whole of the great cycle, depends on me bringing my Baba home. The house is sleeping when I get back, its eaves slouched and the chimney pot snoring quietly. One of the huge chicken feet is poking out from beneath the porch, and the fence bones are slumped in front of the open skeleton store. A reminder that I promised to build the fence, and what will happen if I don't? I sigh and shake my head, but kneel down next to the bones and start to work. If I don't keep my promise, the house will carry me away in the night before I get the chance to find out more about the ceremony of bonding and how it could help me control the gate. Something catches my eye as I lean into the skeleton store to reach one of the long femurs. It's wire, shining silver in the starlight, a long roll of thick, ductile wire, which I sometimes use to string the bones onto the fence and gate. An idea forms in my mind. Shivering with rebellion, I build the fence slowly, letting the idea take root and grow into a plan. When the fence is finished, built close to the house and covered with sheets and blankets to hide it from curious eyes, I sit on the porch steps and listen to the house, breathing, to make sure it is still asleep. One of the huge chicken feet twitches in front of me. The house is dreaming of running. All my life, the house has been in control of where we go and how long we stay, but tonight, things are going to change. I creep back into the skeleton store, slip the roll of wire over my shoulder, and begin my task, fingers trembling. I twist the wire around each of the house's clawed toes, thread it through the spindles of the balustrade, and coil it around the gnarled woody ankle, pulling it as taut as I can. I crawl underneath the porch until I see the other leg, and I manage to weave the wire between the floor joints and wrap it twice around a knee. Satisfied the house will not be able to stand, let alone walk, I emerge from the tangle of wood, wire, and chicken legs with a huge smile on my face. Tonight, for the first time in my life, I will fall asleep knowing that tomorrow I'll wake up in the same place.